facing the bullet fired by the criminal. The man actually chose to catch it with his bare hand. To everyone's shock, he pulled off something that should have had zero chance of happening. The impossible had just happened. The criminal instantly broke out in a cold sweat. Just moments earlier, a scruffy man had barged into the classroom with a gun, but he wasn't there to rob anyone. He came to take revenge on the girl he once had a crush on. The two had been high school classmates. John used to be a top student, but after his confession was rejected back then, he failed to get into the college he dreamed of. He blamed everything on the girl. To protect her students, the teacher promised she would agree to any demand the man made. John immediately made an outrageous request.
じゃあ俺とセックスしてくれよ。
If Jenny refused him, he might pull the trigger at any moment. Left with no choice, Jenny reluctantly agreed to John's demand. Jack, who witnessed the scene, was stunned. Just thinking about the teacher he admired. Being forced to do something like that with a filthy man made Jack feel sick to his stomach. To Jack, Miss Jenny was like a goddess. Every night before going to sleep, he couldn't help but dream about her. There was no way he would allow that disgusting man to defile Miss Jenny. Seeing everyone remain silent, Jack suddenly stood up and stopped John. But that very action only provoked John's anger. John pointed the gun straight at Jack. Just as he was about to pull the trigger, Jack slowly raised his hand. At that moment, time suddenly seemed to slow down. Jack's life began flashing before his eyes. His father had once been an astronaut, but he died before he could travel into space. He used to say that after he died, he would go to the moon, and Jack believed it. Soon his classmates began mocking him for that belief. From then on, Jack was isolated by everyone. But one day, the teacher approached him. She chose to believe what Jack had said. Then she told him that her true identity was actually a goddess. Of course, Jack didn't believe such nonsense, but that didn't mean the probability was zero. Just like the idea that Jack's father might be on the moon, the probability of that event wasn't truly zero. People often treat extremely unlikely things as impossible, but no one really knows whether that's true. After all, they've never seen it themselves, so Jack's belief wasn't wrong. After hearing this, Jack began to admire his teacher even more. From that moment on, she became the goddess in his heart. As time returned to normal, the bullet flew straight toward Jack. Everyone in the room held their breath, their eyes fixed on him. Then Jack slowly opened his hand, and in his palm was the very bullet that had been fired. At that moment, everyone present was stunned. Jack had actually caught the bullet. Even Jack himself was a little surprised, but remembering that his teacher was still in danger, his mind began racing. A bold plan quickly formed in his head. He told the criminal that he came from the future and could easily track the path of a bullet. John didn't fully believe him, but Jack had indeed caught the bullet. That fact alone shattered John's common sense. To convince John, Jack claimed he had already seen his future. Soon he would be arrested. About 10 years later, he would be released from prison. But during those years behind bars, he would study hard. Eventually, he would pass the entrance exam and get into the University of Tokyo. While studying there, he would marry a girlfriend he met during a part-time job. They would have 4 children together. After that, he would successfully start his own business. Each word Jack spoke slowly broke down John's mental defenses. He had started to believe Jack's story. At that critical moment, the teacher stepped in and backed him up. In the end, John decided to turn himself in and start over.